Picture this. You're in a team meeting, feeling good after your presentation. Suddenly your manager says, "That was a good start, but the data analysis was a bit thin. We need to go deeper." Instantly the room feels hotter. All eyes are on you. What was meant as feedback feels like a public critique. Your heart races. Your mind jumps to defense. This is a universal reaction. Feedback often feels personal, even when it's not. We invest so much in our work that criticism can feel like a judgment of our worth. The professional setting amplifies this, especially when feedback is public. We worry about how others see us, about losing face. Even private feedback can trigger anxiety, thanks to power dynamics. It's not just about the project. It's about our competence and value. Our minds leap to questions. Do they doubt me? Did I mess up? This discomfort is normal. It's human. Criticism taps into our need for acceptance and belonging. The fear isn't just about failing. It's about not being good enough. Recognizing this emotional response is the first step to handling feedback better. Defensive feelings are natural, not a personal flaw. Accepting this helps us move forward. Feedback isn't a spotlight on our weaknesses. It's a tool for growth. The discomfort is a starting point, not the end. When we understand why feedback stings, we can start to change our response. Growth begins with acknowledging our reactions. Only then can we build new, productive habits. Why do we react so strongly to criticism? It's biology. Our brains evolved to treat social threats, like criticism, as seriously as physical ones. For our ancestors, rejection from the group meant danger. Today, when we hear criticism, our amygdala triggers the fight-or-flight response. Adrenaline surges, heart rate spikes, logic takes a back seat. That's why it's hard to think clearly in the moment. This reaction is automatic. Our body chooses it for us. The ego joins in, working to protect our self-image. Criticism feels like a threat to our identity, so we instinctively defend ourselves. Our inner voice says they don't get it, or that's not fair. But this is just our survival system doing its job. The challenge? Most feedback isn't a real threat. An email with suggestions isn't a tiger in the bushes. To grow, we need to manage this outdated response. We must create space between the trigger and our reaction. This means consciously engaging our rational brain. It's a skill, one we can practice and improve. Recognize the reaction, but don't let it control you. With awareness, we can override the alarm and respond thoughtfully. That's how we turn feedback into an opportunity, not a threat. The first step in handling criticism: pause. Don't react, don't defend, just breathe. This pause interrupts your automatic fight-or-flight response. It gives your rational brain a chance to catch up. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Signal to your body that you're safe. This isn't about suppressing feelings, but managing them. The pause also changes the conversation dynamic. When you don't jump to defend, you show you're listening. This calms the situation and invites constructive dialogue. Practicing the pause is a discipline. Try it in everyday moments, before replying to a tough email or reacting in traffic. Over time, it becomes easier in high-pressure situations. The pause is your foundation. It transforms you from a reactor to a responder. It's the essential first step to mastering feedback. Control starts with a single breath. In that space, you choose your response. That's where growth begins. After pausing, shift your mindset. Listen to understand, not to defend. Our instinct is to find flaws in the feedback or prepare a rebuttal. True listening means focusing on the other person's words, tone, and body language. Ask yourself, what's the core message? What problem are they trying to solve? Try to see the situation from their perspective. Maybe your manager's feedback is driven by pressure from above. Understanding motivation removes the personal sting. Separate feedback from your identity. It's about the work, not your worth. Remind yourself, this is about the report, not about me. When you're not defending your ego, you can find valuable insights. Listen with curiosity, not judgment. Mentally repeat their words to stay focused. You're not agreeing or admitting fault. You're gathering information. Your only job now, be a receptive, attentive listener. The decision on what to do comes later. For now, just listen. Once you've listened, engage with questions. not defenses. Clarifying questions help you understand the feedback and make it actionable. Vague criticism like, "Be more strategic," isn't helpful. Ask, "Can you give an example of what you'd like to see?" Or, "Which areas need more detail?" These questions invite specifics and turn feedback into a collaborative process. Asking questions shows you're listening and value their input. It can soften defensiveness on both sides. The conversation shifts from critique to coaching. Questions also buy you time to process and plan. Try, "What's the top thing I should focus on next time?" This frames the interaction around improvement. Clarifying questions turn feedback into a tool for growth. They keep the conversation productive and future-focused. Close the loop by responding with calm gratitude. Thank the person for their feedback, even if it was hard to hear. A simple, "Thank you for sharing that," goes a long way. Gratitude isn't agreement, it's professionalism. It signals you're open to learning and builds trust. After thanking them, state your intention. You don't have to promise to do everything, just show you're considering it. Say, "I'll reflect on your suggestions and come back with a plan," or "I'll incorporate more examples next time." This provides closure and shows ownership. Afterward, evaluate the feedback objectively. Decide what's valid and make a plan to improve. Following up with action shows you value input. This turns criticism into a catalyst for growth. Professional relationships strengthen when feedback leads to positive change. Not all criticism is fair or well delivered. When feedback is harsh or inaccurate, the pause, breathe, listen steps are even more important. Stay calm. Your composure is your strength. Try to find any useful point in the message, even if the delivery is poor. If there's a valid concern, acknowledge it. "I hear your point about the deadline." If the delivery is inappropriate, calmly flag it. "The way this is communicated is difficult for me to hear." If the criticism is baseless, don't debate in the moment. Use a neutral statement. "Thank you for your perspective. I need time to process." This lets you exit gracefully and decide on next steps later. Every time you handle feedback well, you build trust and resilience. You become known as someone open-minded and strong. This takes practice, but it pays off. Start with the pause, listen, ask questions, and respond with gratitude. This framework turns criticism into opportunity. You take control of your growth and your reputation.